Hello and welcome to the next stage of Coding Along with Baggers, part 4. Right, let me just send a link to this on the Facebook group. Just get a link, hold on. Okay. Got a link, just copying it onto the Facebook group. Got a link, just copying it onto the Facebook group. Tutorial. Right. Hey Matt, Evelyn, Richard, Gamer Eyes, Matteo, good to see you again. Right, have you got your pictures and stuff ready? No, it wasn't that. It was tiles, wasn't it? Yep. Thanks, Ellen. Good. Right, so we had our sprites. We won't get to use all of them today because this will probably go over a few parts. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Gamer Rise. Just getting ready to decide how much of this we do, and just goes well. I'll probably be about 2 hours, and then the last hour will be the last bit will be asking questions. It'll probably be an hour, like it is has been the past 3 times. Well, 45 minutes to an hour anyway. Hey James. Right. So that was our sprite tiles. Block, that's it. And these are the blocks that I'm going to be using for the game so far. Yeah, some kind of glitch before, so looking forward to joining the next group sometime. Yeah. Good luck, Stuart. If you can catch up. Right, now. So, I'm going to start, and because I'm using C-Spect and it's set up as if you press escape it exits, the line 10 is testgame.bas, and that will save what you're doing when you run it, so that when you break out, if you accidentally press escape instead of shift space, then you won't lose everything. You'll at least have saved it. 20, at 3 because I want it to be quick. Right, 30. We'll try and I'm not going to use functions and stuff like that. I'll just use like line numbers for now to make it easy. Right, like at 1000 we'll have like setup 40, so 2000, and we'll have like a little menu here. And we'll, over the time, we'll building these things up. 3000. Have the game set up. Set your coordinates and everything. 1000. And this will be the actual game loop. And then 70. 5000, which will be game over. No matter, not using procs for the moment, just to try and keep it easy. Yeah, keeping to line numbers for now. Trying to keep it as basic as possible, just to break people into it, and then we'll add more functions on another game. Right, and then we want to go back to back to the menu. Right, so that is sort of the, yeah, as basic as possible. I like that one too, that's why I said it. Right, so for now, that is the basic setup. We'll have the setup of the game, and then like loading bits and pieces like graphics and stuff. And you'll have your menu, your game setup, the loop, or game loop, and game over. Right, so let's start with the setup. Right, setup 1010. Right, what we'll need to do is set layer 2 to 0 because we're going to be using, and also we want a sprite clear, and we'll do the CLS as well. What game am I coding? Right, well, it's whatever we make of it as we go along, because I want everybody to have done their own blocks and tiles, so the maze will look different, and then we can adapt as we go along. So, because basically what I want to do is for people to post a video of the game, or post the game at the end of it, so we can see what people have done. What is layer 2? Layer 2 is the one of the extra screen layers that the Spectrum Next has, and it's an 8-bit screen in the fact that it's 1 byte per pixel, whereas the Spectrum ULA screen is 1 byte for 8 pixels, as we did in the first tutorial, or the second tutorial, where we were poking things on the screen. Well, it might have been the first tutorial. Anyway, yeah, so it's the layer 2 screen is 48K just for the screen layout of a 256 by 192, which is the original Spectrum resolution. But anyway, you'll see that as we get into this. Right, so I suppose I could have gone through explaining like all the like functions that we're going to use from the next, but we'll get to that as we go through. So layer 2 comes 0, which sets layer 2, saying we want it active but we want it not displayed. And sprite clear will clear the sprites. Sat in the OU. John. Oh, in the pub. Cool. Hopefully I'm not on too loud in the pub. Enjoy your social distancing. Hey guys. For those of you who don't have a Next menu, you can download a copy from the Next website. That's very true, Stuart. Thank you. If someone can post a link to that, that would be great. Right, so bank is one of the new instructions which allows you to make very good use of the extra banks that the Next has got. So we'll call this temp bank because we're going to use it for loading graphics in. And inverted bank new, and we'll have tile map bank 1040. Has layer 2 changed? I'm just scrolling. At one point I have no audio, unfortunately. No, layer 2 hasn't changed. Why? In what changed? In what sense? Oh, you can do the. I don't know if you can do the 320 by 256 version of the layer 2 in Next Basic yet. So in which way, John, did you think that layer 2 has changed? Because it'll take a while for you to get this question, and then you can reply. And then... Right, so anyway, I'll carry on for now until your reply comes through. Gamerize layers is he has no audio. Who has no audio? Layer 2 is the layers are various layers that the Spectrum Next can use. Like the ULA is layer 0. I've forgotten what layer 1 is. Layer 1 is the tile map, I think, and layer 2 is the 8-bit per pixel 256 color layer. And you can have them all active at once. I don't know if you can use the tile map layer yet in Next Basic. I think that's coming at some point. Is layer 1 the high-res Timex stuff? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up in the manual. But anyway, layer 2 is got it active but turned off. We've cleared the sprites and cleared the screen. We've set up a new bank for the temp bank and a new bank for tile map bank. And what we're going to do now is we're going to load our tiles that we did into the temp bank. And we want to sprite bank, temp bank. And what that does is that copies the memory from the temp bank into the sprites memory. John Young's got no audio. Unlucky, John. You'll have to listen along when you get home. Enjoy the pub in the meantime. I can think of worse places to be stuck. Right, load. Actually, what? No, we'll carry on. I was thinking of in case we need to load more stuff, but for now we'll just keep it as it is. Right, temp bank, and then we'll load our block sprites. Bank, temp bank, and then 70 tile bank, temp bank. Next, I'm not using temp bank again at the moment, so we'll use that. We've called it. Well, we've just loaded the block sprites into the temp bank, so we're not making like loads of banks, or not allocating loads of banks. So then we want to create a map for our little screen. So I'll restore 1300 because I want to put some data statements at 1300. 1090. Right, come on. Pointer. Put that. Shift out. Some shift out for equal 0. 1100. And read a 1110. We need it if a equals 255, then go to 1500. Uh, 120. And now what we want to do is we want to poke into the tile map bank. Pointer, comma A. Pointer plus 1. Right, now what that will be, hang on, let me just finish the 40. Go to 100. Right, what that will do now is the restore 1300 restores where the read instruction will read the data from. So we'll put some data statements at line 1300 for the map. And the let pointer equal 0 is the pointer that we're going to be poking into an offset into the tile map bank. So we'll start at 0 and then read the byte from our data statements at line 1300. Then if a equals 255, which is our end of data marker, it can be anything you want, I guess. But it's just that we're going to be using like the lower numbers for the tiles, so we can set our tile map up. So if we get the end marker, then go to 1500, which will be the code after the setup of the map. Pings all over the place. Right, and then we've got the bank tile map poke pointer comma A. We'll actually poke the offset, poke the bank of the tile map bank with the offset of pointer with the value of A. So and then the let pointer equal pointer plus 1 increases the pointer, so it goes to the next byte in RAM on the tile bank, and the go to 1100 just goes back to the loop of reading a byte. So that'll just keep reading a byte until we get a 255, and then it'll go to line 1500. Hang on, I'm getting messages. They may be important. Maybe people saying that. Right, yeah, a couple of messages, but I'll reply to them later. Yeah, no worries, Matt. I'll reply to them later, but yeah. It doesn't have to be next week, Matt, don't worry, because next week we'll probably be continuing with this in BASIC. And then what we'll do is we'll write the whole game in BASIC, and then we'll write the whole game in BASIC, and then go back and redo it in machine code. That's why I'm using the go-tos and stuff. And trying to keep it as simple as possible. Sorry if everyone's checking their Facebook messages, but yeah, my phone's actually quite quiet. It's usually a lot more animated than it is at the moment. It's very quiet. I've been telling people to be quiet when they're when it's Sunday at 2. There's nothing wrong. Right, anyway. Right, so 1300 we'll do. I'm going to 1300 just to give a bit of space after the code in case you want to add anything else to it. Right, we want to do a map 16, so 16 by 12 because the screen is 256 by 192, and if you divide that by the size of the blocks, which is 16 by 16, it's 16 blocks by 12 blocks for the screen. So we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, there we go, yeah, that's right. Right, and what I will do is I will do a quick line around the edge, and then we can fill it in. That should be 12 lines of data. Actually, that should be all ones. Right, if you want to know what the, I know because probably some of you guys will not know what the numbers are that I'm typing. Yeah, I was entering this same line with different numbers, and basically what it's done is it's given us a square block. What I'll do is I tell you what I'll do. I'll get the bit that draws the screen up and get the rest of that going. Yeah, I'm basically duplicating the line. As you can see now, we've got one data line, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that should be our 16 by 12 map. Right, now when you're doing these, right, let me just run it and save it. This will come up with an error because we've not got any of the I forgot data 255. Right. And then so that is now saved our test game so that I can't accidentally mess it up, and if I press escape now we can come back and load it in. Right, so if I do SPR edit and then do the block.spr, as you can see the this is block 0, block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. That's all we've done so far, but I'll probably only use these for now, just for the first part of it, because what we'll do two styles of games with this. We'll do one that's a maze game, like Avalon type kind of thing, and then we'll do like a load runner type game with the ladders, so it'll be like a platformer. Right, and single shift space to exit out. Yeah, true, because I'm not clearing them. Okay, yeah. Good point. Temp bank equal start with 14 and tarmac. Tarmac bank equal 15. Right. Yeah, true. Right, so I'm going to use. I'm not going to be allocating banks because I have to end up freeing them every time we run it. So, right. Check, make sure I haven't missed any messages. Adrian Sinclair asked how you duplicate lines. Basically, if I wanted, I've got my line 1420, all you have to do is just change the line number and then you've got a duplicate line. And if I want to change that to 40. I hope that clears it up for you, Adrian. Right, and then what was the line number? We wanted to go to 1500. Right. 1500. Tile dim. 40. Actually, do 16. No, 15. 0, 16 by 16, right. Tarmac bank 15. Well, that's tarmac bank actually. Tarmac bank. Right, and what this line does, tarmac dim, is it tells the next basic where the map is for the tarmac. And it's in tarmac bank, which is 15, which we've set to 15, and 0 is the offset of where the tarmac starts, so you can start it further into the bank, into the 16k bank, and then 16 by 16 is the 16 is the width of the map, which we've got it set to 16 because we're just doing the screen wide, and 16 is the size of the tiles, which is 16 by 16 pixels. Right, and then 1510, for now we'll just return because that's the set uploaded, and then 2000 we'll do menu. Yeah, you can hit extend mode 9 to delete from the cases at the end of the line. Is that in basic, is it? Right, that's to the beginning of line, not to the end. Extend mode 9 is not, it's just to the, it deletes the beginning. I hit naught, oh did I? Naught, yeah. No, naught is to the right. Matt, I'm pressing Control and Shift, which is extended mode. And if I press 9 now, it's just deleted the start bit. Yeah, no worries. Easily done, mate. Right. Oh, actually deleted the line as well. 1520. 1520, 2000. And 2010. Yeah, 0 puts deletes to the right. Yeah, you don't need to memorize them. Half of them I don't know. 2, comma 0, because this is the menu. We want to turn the screen off. And I want layer 0 and CLS. 2020 print at 15, which is like not 15, we'll do 11. That's about center of the screen. 5 maybe. Semicolon. I take it you all know how to do the what print at does. The Y position, comma X, and then semicolon keeps the cursor at 11.5, and then the quotes is what we put in. So press a key to start. Right, you can make this as fancy as you want, but for speed we're going to keep it simple. And 2990. Right. The reason 2990 is return is because you can put whatever you want in line 2000, well, from 2000 upwards, and then at the end it'll go to the return. So that'll just clear the screen, print, press a key to start, pause 0, will wait until you press a key, and then it'll return back to the bit which then goes to the next part of the next back up here, which is means this line will be done. It'll do the rem menu, and then it'll go to 3000. For anyone who doesn't know, rem is like a remark or reminder. It doesn't actually execute anything, it doesn't do anything, it's just a reminder basically. So you can put like little comments in the code to remind you of what they do. Right, so the next one we do, which will be 3000, which will be game setup. 3000. Right, now let me just make sure I haven't missed anything else. Hey Dronago, thanks. I hope I pronounced that right. Glad you're enjoying the tutorials, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along at one point. You've missed quite a bit. We've so far got a basic outline setup. We've got the setup which loads in all the data. We've got some data that we're going to poke to the tile map bank, and then now we've done the menu, which is simple press a key to start menu, and then 3000 game setup. Yeah, page 24 of the manual. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to at some point then, Junado. have you not set up cspect with HDF Monkey? HDF GUI? Hey, Ped. No, I'm jumping up line routines, Ped. We've not done that many lines so far. Yeah, I'll just scroll up and down. So that's all we've done so far. Just done the start up with the basic structure, then setup, which loads graphics and pokes tile map data to RAM, and then returns, and then we've got a menu that clears the screen and presses a key, and we're just about to do this setup. So hopefully you haven't missed too much, Bed. Right, clear the screen, layer 2,1, because we want the screen layer 2 to be active now. Actually, we should do the tile at first, although I'm not sure you can do that. Let me just, I'll keep the tile at after, because I'm not sure you can do the tile when it's not in layer 2 mode. I suppose I could do layer 2,0 tile, and yeah, and then we can do it layer 2,1 and turn the tile on. 3020. Yeah, definitely, Matt. It's a lot easier. Cool, Jinagu. Good luck. Hope we did do some code last week on plotting a pixel on the next and using the keys for input. We will be doing this game that we're typing now. We'll do this game in machine code once this is finished. So we'll basically go through what we've written in BASIC and do the machine code conversion of it, and then that way it'll be easier for people who know a bit of BASIC to then be able to see what was being done in BASIC and see how it's done in machine codes, and then hopefully they'll be able to use it and move forward making their own games. That is not Retro Robbins, that's not a tile, that is a map. It's a tile map, not a tile. I suppose I could have used, because we're using 16 by 12, I suppose I could have used a sprite to do it, but I was basically showing you how to do it in data statements. Yeah, no worries, Matt. Well, it makes it easier, because I know a lot of the people who are watching this know BASIC, but they don't know machine code. So if I thought the best way to do it would be to do like an interim where I show you what the BASIC is doing, and then show you how you would convert that into machine code, so that people will be able to hopefully go over what they've done in BASIC, and then at some point convert what they've done in BASIC to machine code using the techniques that they learn from these tutorials. That's the idea anyway. Whether it works, God knows, but that's the idea. No worries, Graham. Glad you could join us. Right. So we've now displayed the screen. We want to let. Right. PX is going to be our player exposition. Right. 32 is the amount of pixels that it takes to get to the top left, to the left of the screen for a sprite. So it's 32 pixel at 0. When a sprite is at an exposition of 0, it's 32 pixels. Well, it starts 32 pixels to the left of the screen, of the border on the UI. And so we want to add 16 because we want to move a tile in, and we want to be at the center of the tile, so plus 8. Right, 30 30, let py equal and the Y position again 32 pixels down before you get to the actual ULA screen, the 256 by 192. That's when the sprites start getting visible on the ULA screen. And plus we want to do, because it's 192 pixels down to the very bottom, we want to, because we want to start a pixel up from the bottom, sorry, a tile up from the bottom, we do minus 32. Well, we want to do 2 tiles up because 192 it'll be just at the bottom of the screen, well, underneath the border at the bottom of the screen. So to move it up 2 tiles, so minus 32 and plus 8 because we want it to be in the center of the tile. And the tile is 16 pixels. I'll get messages again, sorry. Hopefully it's not overly important. I don't think I'm right. No. I'll catch them later. Right. 3040. Right, we want the pattern to be 0 because the player's pattern, if you was it tiles, that's pattern 0, pattern 1, pattern 2, 2, pattern 3, pattern 4, pattern 5, 6 and so on. Right, so we want pattern 0 because that's his first frame. Right. Yep. Hey John Paul. Right, where are we? Right, we've got the flags to set in the sprite as well. So 1 because we want it to turn on, and 3060 sprite. Speaking of turn sprites on, we want to turn them on now. And 3990 is the end of the game setup. Return. Type right. Right, 4000. Run game. Right. 10. We will actually not do anything yet. What we'll do is we'll return, and then 4010 will pause 0. So we'll wait for a key and then we'll return. And 5000, which is the game over. Sprite print 0. We'll turn sprites off. Yeah, very true, Pet. Good idea. But we're just doing as data statements for now. But I can show you the other way as well. Right, I lost my train of thought. Not right. Yeah, we need to clear the screen. I'll turn the game screen off. Back to ULA and then CLS. Right. Semicolon, not comma, because otherwise it would be in the wrong place. I don't know if, right, well, I'll show you the difference between the comma and the semicolon in a moment, once we get the game to work. Right, yeah, it's even easier, it's a lot easier in assembler to do the data statements. Right, so for now, this will also save the game, thankfully. Right, so we've got clear the screen, press the key to start, and it's dumped a box around the edge. Now, so remember I did the first line of ones, and then a 1, and then 14 zeros and a 1, and then copied that same line 10 times. Or, sorry, copied it 9 times, so there's 10 lines of blank in the middle, and then did all ones at the end. And that is our map, and it's game over. And it goes back to press the key to start. Right, and shift space will break into it. So everyone following that so far? Yeah, we'll do Pad. But we're not doing ASM just yet. We're going to wait till a bit later on. Well, a bit later on in the episodes. It'll probably be maybe not the next episode, but once we get this game finished, we'll go over to converting it to machine code. Right, so now what I want you to do is, as you saw the game map, if we put, like, this is the top left and goes down a tile each time, but 2 lines, 2 visual lines for each line of the map. So if we go down to the 3rd line and skip the first byte, then we can put one, replace them with ones. We'll have a gap there. Maybe we'll have a gap there as well, and a gap at the end. Right, if we run that now, we've got that. So then what we can do is this edge here, right, so there's a wall, then a gap that we can go down. So if we put a gap there, down at the bottom, and then we've got that. Right, and what we'll do is we'll have this as a start point. So I'll basically now block that off. I'll show you that I've blocked it off. There you go. So we'll start in the bottom left down here. I don't know if you can see my, can you see the mouse? Oh, yeah, you can see the mouse over there. Cool. Right. So, let's break into it again. And break into it. And start putting some more. May or may not know. Right, let's just see what I've got done so far. Should have a nice little path now. where's that come from, Matt? You gone wrong somewhere, Gamer Eyes? What have you done? Yep. Very true, Graham. It's full of your first sprite. Ah, did you right, make sure you're online 10:20, you got your temp bank to 14, and on 10:30 you got your tile map bank to 15, and you load your tiles. Hang on, let me just show you what tiles look like. Tiles is actually what I'm using as sprites for the game. So load the sprites into bank temp bank, which is 14, and then sprite bank 14, which loads them into the sprite memory, and then the block sprites, which is block.spl, which is our map blocks that we'll be using, are those ones, which is the walls. So you should have and it loads them into temp bank, which is the block 14, and it puts that in the tile. Sets up the tiles to be the temp bank. So the tiles are bank 14, and then it pokes data into tile map bank, which is bank 15. So do you know where you've gone wrong, Gamer? Because it shouldn't have your sprites on the map. Should have your blocks. Did you get it sorted? Let me know if you got it sorted. What I'll do while you're doing that is I will go through and do some more data in the map, so we can make our screen. I'll put a little block there and maybe a block here. Right, so at the top, we'll make that go all the way across, and then we can have that there, and then that'll do. Nice little simple map. And what we can do as well is in the bottom we can put 3. So anyone following, did you manage to fix it? Game Arise? Or have you still got the wrong image on? Or are you just using the one image, or are you using 2 images for your 2 sprite files for your tiles and your backgrounds? Or are you just using the one set? Are you still there, Game Arise? Is anyone still there? Is everyone still there? Just make sure it's not broke or something, because I can't see any responses since Game Arise, but my screen's full of my first sprite. I'd like to get it fixed if we can, before we continue. Game Arise, can you post a message to say you're still there? If not, I'll just carry on. I'll give you a couple of seconds because it has a bit of a lag before it streams it out to you guys. Nope, no response from Game Arise. No response from anyone. Is there anyone there? Let me just message the Facebook group to see if there's anyone there. Matt, can you respond? I can't see the messages. Why can I not see the messages? Ah, they've just come through. Yeah, that load of them have just come through. That was weird. Don't you just love it when technology fails? Right, you're there. I couldn't see your messages, sorry. You're in the wrong. Sprites yesterday, typing, sorry, no worries. No, I know you're not there, Matt. Still here editing. Okay, Rich, hopefully this delay in the text coming through should help you finish off your level data. Basically like self data statements and values like that. It does use about 7 bytes. Yeah, no, it does because it's not I know it's not very economical, but the thing is we have loads of memory anyway, so it's not an issue at the moment. So I didn't want to go into technical into why you shouldn't use data statements like that, but it's just as a basic outline of getting data in and shown. A text string is probably a lot easier, but then you have to you'd have to post. Yeah, we can do that. What I'll do is I'll sort out next week rather than change this now, or I'll do it for when we do the other game. When we swap over to do the load runner style game, we'll do the maps using the string. It also teaches 2 ways of how to get data in. Taken what fave spot? Blue 552. These tutorials are taking fave spot over what? Or for who? For you or for people in general? Right, let me just catch up. Right, gamer eyes, you're fixed. Yay! Right, hopefully, now that we're all back up to speed, and your first sprite not being blank. That's good then. Right, he's in yours. My favourite. I'm his favourites. That's nice of you. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the tutorials so far. Right, let's get back to it. We've already an hour in, and all we have is the screen. Right, so what we want to do now is the game. Right, so instead of pause 0 on line 4010, we'll change it to pause 1, which is wait a frame, because otherwise it might run too fast, because we'll only have I'll go to 6000, and this will be handle player. Right, and then 4030 if pf does not equal 63, when 63, then go to 4000. Right, and what this is, 63 is the player frame, and so the game will continue to run in the, it'll go back to line 4000, which will then wait a frame in the pause 1, and then go sub 6000, which is the handle player. Actually, I might make this a different line number. I'll make this 4980 and get rid of line 4030. Right, and then we can put stuff in the middle for other things like handling the baddies and stuff. Right, so so 6000 rim handle player. Right, sprite north, because we want it to be the first sprite, comma, so px, we want this to be the center of the sprite, so px minus 8, py minus 16, because we want to, well, it's minus 14 because we want to be at his feet or the bottom of the player, comma pp, which is the player pattern, and player flags. So that should then put a sprite on the screen. Right, and we want to copy the old positions, the old data, y equal py, and we also want to clear the direction, because we're going to be allowed to use diagonals, because we're going to, if you remember from the other, doing Z80, if you remember from 2 weeks ago when we did the diagonals with basic, reading from the port directly for the keys. Right. I don't know if you've typed again, but the last message was Ratmal saying Gamer Rise maybe used my box sprite. If that's the last thing, then that's that last thing I can see. So if you have said it, oh no, it's come through. Oh no, it hasn't. It's just scroll. Yeah, your last message too. Yeah, that's correct. Right, so back to the game, the handle player. Right, what we want to do now is, now that we've got the old X and Y position stored, and we've cleared the direction X and direction Y, we need to do if in string can is a good one for you. Can anyone remember what it is for Q? I know what it is, but can anyone else remember what the port is for Q, the key Q? It will end in FE, and you just need to remember the first byte, or the first two nibbles, the first two hex digits for this. Hopefully, it would be nice for see replies. FB. That is correct, Graham. Well done. So FB, FE, and yep. Thank you, Matt. No, it's not that bit. It's the other way around. You want to do and 1 equals 0. That's py equal py minus 1 colon. Let pa animation. I want the animation pa. I need to. What we're doing, we're having a variable called PA. Is the player whether the player's animating or not? So when you move, it sets the player animation. Let's do y. If I can get it right, equal -1. 6040 if yep. That's good. It's always good to have the cheat sheets from the other week. Okay, what is the one for A, the key A? Well, anyone other than Graham, because he's got the cheat sheet. Right. If anyone else has got it. Yep. It's a lot easier in ASM, isn't it? FD, you are correct. Thank you, Blue 552. FD, F8 and 1 equals 0 then let py equal py plus 1, because we want it to go down the screen. Py 1, because we want it to animate, and let direction by equal 1. Right, 6050. Now we want to do the same again, but we want to do for O and P. So we want to do O first. So what's O? Anyone got it? FFE. Yeah, you were close. You had them the wrong way around, Stuart. Sorry, it's and 2 because we want to do O, which is the second key in from the edge of the keyboard on the old 48 rubber key. Then let px equal px minus 1, colon let pa, because we want to animate, equal 1, and then let dy, d direction x equal minus 1. 6060, and same for P, so it's the same port, and 1 this time, equals 0, then let px equal px plus 1, colon, let pa equal 1, and then because you want to animate, and let dx equal 1. Right, and then 6070. Right, we want to set a temporary x to equal player x, and let, actually no, we won't do that yet. We will do 6080, because I want to have the do the clear. I just want to show you it moving around and make sure everyone's got it moving around. Then let pp equal 1 minus pp. Right, what this does is if the player animating flag is set to 1, then let the player pattern equal 1 minus p. So that is just for our 2-frame animation, and because the first one is it's 0 and 1, it was easy to do 1 minus p. I should really do let pp equal pp plus 1, colon, if pp equals 2, then let pp equal 0. But that for now, we just 1 minus pp. It's just a quicker way of doing all of that. Because when pp is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0, and then when pp is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1. So it just alternates them. That only works when it's on 0 as well, or on 0 or on 1. Or if it was like 2 and 3 that you wanted to animate, you'd have to do it the other way. Actually, sorry, let's do it the proper way, in case you want to do more. In case you want to do more frames, like if you want to animate 4 frames, so some of you might have done 4 frames for the animation. So if pp equals 2, then let pp equal 0. Right. Hey John, you're online. Well done. Have you got audio now? 6090. No, we won't do them yet. 6990. I just want to test it, animating and working. Hey, and it stops and animates. Right. So you can obviously go through the backgrounds and off the screen. Ship it, yeah, is right. Right, that's a ref. So, those of you who've been following along, hopefully you have something similar and working. Variable not found in 6080. Right, and then let me help you out there. 6080. Part 2. So that would be the let PP north 1 2. If PP equals 2, then let PP equal. Yeah. Probably. The first one is PA, and then the rest are PP. Listen to P off PP. Cool. This is definitely, yeah, it's always good. That's why I have people following along, because if you make a mistake, we can fix it together, and you know what the mistake is, and other people will know. Basically, he's probably missed a P like that. So if we run this, be able to. It was in the P. He missed it in the part before, which is this part. So he probably missed that. Is it? Ah, no. It would have been the second PP, because we're just setting the P flag, and it was the P that was undefined. There you go. That's what you got, and that was what you had, wasn't it? Yeah, if you want 4 frames of animation, change the if PP equals 2 to if PP equals 4, and that will give you 4 frames of animation. Right, so if we run that now, I should have to go into brighten and diamond. As I've only got 2, I'll put mine back to 2. Cool. So, Gamer Ice, we found your bug, and you now know how to fix it if that happens again, hopefully, or at least know where to look. So basically, the first part was here, and then this was the bit that had the error. Right. PP4 gives 5 frames. No, it doesn't give 5 frames, because you've just done a PP equal PP plus 1 here. So it starts off at 0, then it gets to this line, so PP plus 1. So it starts off at 0, then it'll go to 1, then it'll go to 2, then 3, and then when it gets to 4, it will set it back to 0, so it doesn't do the 4th one, so you do only get 4 frames. Well, PP won't, because it gets back to 0, it gets set back to 0 here. It needs to start at 1. So if it needs to start at 1, if your frames start at 1, then there, and if it's 4 frames, then it'll be pp equals 5, then let pp equal 1. But you also need at the top of the program to do let pp equal where is it, in player setup, game setup, say pp to 1 there if you want to start at frame 1 for the player. Yes, if pp somehow goes past 4, then it will just carry on going. You can do greater than equal to 2 if you want to protect yourself from anything like that happens, but we know that we're not going to have anything set in pp. Right, now back to 6070. What we want to do now is get a temporary register, tx and ty. So tx is the temporary register for the player x, and ty is temporary register for the player y, and then go sub 7000. Right, now, and it's 7000, actually 6090. What we want to do, if the return value, which is a register, an integer register, because we're going to be peeking the tile map, equals 1, because that's our wall, then let px equal ox, colon, let py equal oy, colon, let pp equal 0. So what this will do is, after it's done the animation, setting the pp frame, if the return of the collision detection, which is the bit we're going to do next on lines, starting at line 7000, if that returns a 1, which is our wall block, then we set the player's x and the player y to the original before we moved it with the keys, the original positions, the ox and oy, and then we let pp equal 0 to put it back to a standing frame, or the first frame of the animation, so it doesn't animate. Right, and then 600, if we'll do that one next. Actually 600, if r equals 3, then return. Right, 7000. Can anyone tell me what that if r equals 3 then return is going to do? Yeah, John, no worries. The machine code will be in a couple of weeks once we finish this game. What we'll do is we'll go back through this, through the code, well, the basic, and we'll convert each line to machine code comparison. And then that way it gives people, I mean, it's not the best way to do machine code, but it gives people a way to figure out what the machine code's doing, because if they know enough of the basic, or they know what the basic is doing, then the machine code version of that will then help them make their own codes, well, make their own machine code language games. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's the plan. That's what I hope comes of this. Background collision, and that's why I'm teaching it this way. Yeah, well, John, you can learn some basic as well while you go. Right, because we're doing peaks we're going to need integer value to return, which is the %r, and we have %x and %y as the tx is the temporary value that we're passing through, because we're going to be using the reason for this is when we come to do the baddies next week, because we won't be doing them this week, because otherwise it'll be like 9 o'clock or whatever by the time we finish. When we come to do the baddies, we'll just pass them their position in tx and ty, and then we can call this background collision routine, and it will return a value of what their coordinates are. Yeah, no worries. I'm glad you like the way I teach. It's, I guess it's just the way I think it should be taught. I find it clearer. I hope people will find it clearer to pick up when they are making the progress from basic to machine code. It's sort of similar to how I started doing machine code back in the day, but basically when I was writing a game with the mate from school, Dave Wharton. Hello Dave, if you're watching this at some point. Basically we were doing this game, and we wanted to add some sound, and basic isn't very good at sound. It was just using the beeps. There was a typing in one of the mags, which is sadly I can't remember which mag it is. I'd love to know which mag it is, and which issue it was specifically. But it had a white noise generator, and because it was only a small amount of hex statements, I used the manual from the original speccy, obviously not the next manual, but I used the I don't know if you can see this. Let me just get the yeah. What I did was use the manual to find out what the instructions were, what the hex statements was, and the instructions, and then I'd use that to figure out what this small piece of code was doing to do a sound effect. And it was from that I then started to modify it to get to understand what the thing was doing, and then from there progressed to, well, if I can do that, then how about drawing a character on the screen, and then drawing a map on the screen, and then it just expanded from there. But basically what I was doing was each time I was taking more bits of code, more bits of basic, and doing a code version of it. Just go and drink water, thread's going dry. And it is just water. It's not a big massive glass of vodka or anything like that. It's just water. So, right, back to the conversion. Right. So, because the X and Y position is the pixel for where his feet is, we want to subtract 32 because 32 offset for the top border, and then we want to divide by 16 because there's 16 pixels in the tile, and then we want to do let %y equal the same, ty minus 32, close, divide by 16. E. Percent B, that should be. Obviously from on the right screen. Percent B equal int tail map bank. Right, not LD. Z80. It's okay, the computer does the maths, so yeah, don't worry. Right, now 7020. Right, we want to get return value, and that is a bank B peak. This B, because we've got the percent here, these values are basically percent, but you don't need to put them in. So y times 16, because the tile, the map width is 16. So that 7030 return, and that is as easy as that. Now, hey, so those guys following. So if I run down here, obviously I can't go into the three walls, and then, oh, maybe that's the wrong tile number. Ah, 6,000. It needs to. Where's the game over? The game loop is 4,000. Ah, PF equals 63. Yeah. So it was that P F. It was PP equals 63 or PF. It should be player frame, shouldn't it? PF, it should be PP. No. So player frame is 0 and 1 or 0 to 3 or 1 to 4, depending on what you're actually doing. And then what was X, but it was playing the game again. That's because it was probably because it was registering a key, because we haven't got an input. There you go, game over. Because if you hold the key, it will press, no, the keys will be repeating. Those goes through the tiles, or others are blocked. Gamer Ice. Right, what can you post a picture on? Are you on Facebook? Can you post a picture on Facebook on the next group on Facebook with the posts that I set where I'm going live? Hang on, I'll just get rid of all the messages. Right, on the going live for the next tutorial message, can you post a pic? When you go through the tiles, left, down are working correct. When you press up key, you go through the tiles. Right, okay. When you press up, you should be let PA equal PA minus 1. PY minus 1, PA equal 1, and let DY equal minus 1. Is that what you have? And yes, I'll have a look. Have a quick look on Facebook. See if you when you post. Oh, you fixed it. Cool. What was it? Just so other people, if they have the same issue, what was the issue that you had? Key instead of let. Key instead of let. Okie dokie. Lay instead of let. Even. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that's sorted. So that's all working now then. So everyone should have collision on the backgrounds. Yes, excellent. And can everyone exit the level? Oh, right, I didn't know that. Yours is frozen, guys, no controls. Right, let me see. Have you got the in your game loop at 4,000? Does it? Have you got go sub 6,000 for handle player? Since the Spectrum next, because John, what happens is you can actually just do px equals whatever, and you don't have to put the let in. And so I think Gary made it so you can just have the variable name, so it registers it as a variable name with a space in. Yeah, so you've got 4,020 is go sub 6,000, not 4,000. I don't suppose it matters. because line 6980 goes back to 4000. So it is calling 6000, right? Have you got the right bits for? Have you got it drawing the sprite? The player px minus 8 and py minus 14. Yeah, okay, you've got that one. And is your blank block 0 or 1? What number is your blank block? And through all that connection. Probably knew as kids, but decades one of the languages made us forget. Yeah, I never knew that as a kid, that you could do print I want. But if you do that I want. I didn't know you could put spaces in thingy either. So yeah, that's one up on me too. Right, so back to this. Can we find out where your issue is? Are you if you remove line 6090, sorry, put a rem at the beginning, that should allow you to move freely again. Does that work? So yeah, I know. See, if that's 4, it doesn't matter. It's just if the PP is greater than or equal to 4, then it shouldn't matter, because it just means that the animation frames is 4 frames of animations, which is the other 2 frames of animation is our bullet and the diamond. So that is not the issue that you're having. Yeah, right. So 99 works. So what is your map made of? What is your blank tile? And 6090, if r equals 1, then let po equals x. Basically what this is doing is it's putting you back to where you was before you moved. And that's probably why you're getting stuck. So it'll either be so if you take the rem back out of line 6090, actually if we do 7025 print at 0,0 semicolon percent r semicolon quote space. Right, now that should tell you what the blocks are. So if you move, or if it's not, when you move the cursor or move with QAOP, tell me what values are on the screen when you're standing at your start point. Have you got an empty block here, by the way? Because you need an empty block there for you to move around. Otherwise you won't be able to move, because you'll be in the middle of a full block. I don't know whether the thingies have finished, or whether the messages have stopped updating, but the last I've got is yep, rem 6090 works. Can someone type a quick F in the chat, just to make sure it's updating? I can't see any update on the text. Yep, got it, same here, yep. Right, so thanks guys. So have you got in your data on line, let's change the data because I know where that byte will be. If you go to line 1400 and make sure the data 1, 0, make sure that is definitely a 0, because if you change that to like a 2 or something, that's the one you start on. I mean, obviously you can move on a 2, but if it's a 1, R1 is R1, it's definitely 0, right? Okay, so it's not that then, right? It could be the bank that it's reading from. So have you got let on 7010, have you got let %b equal int tile bank? And then let on the next line let %r equal %bank b peak y times peak bracket y times 16 plus x close bracket. Yep. Okay, and have you got that last one I've just sent with the 7020? Yeah, I was going to check the input detection next. Right, so the bank is right, and it's definitely putting the data in there, because if the map's showing as correct on the screen, the map's definitely there. So it's going to have to be these. Is it? It's line 6030. Yeah, I probably should do it in 64 column mode, but it's clearer on the screen because the characters a bit the characters are bigger in this resolution now. So guys, have you got a line 6030 if % bracket in string FBFE and 1 close bracket equals 0, then let py equal py minus 1. Banks, yeah, John Young, the banks are 16k banks of memory, so you can load graphics in without it writing over your basic program. 0 to 7 are the same used in the 1 to 8k versions, as Mass just said. Yeah, okay, very good point. I did say that, I didn't say that banks are 16k banks. Yeah, the banks are the amount of 16k banks you've got available. So if you've got a 1 meg, well, a 768k free, you have up to 48 banks of, well, from 0 to 47 banks to use. Basic might use some if there's some drivers that have allocated memory in the banks, but usually if you use the low, if basic allocates banks, then it typically uses the higher ones. So if you've got 768k, it'll start using bank 47 downwards, or if you've got the full 2 meg version, which is the 1792k free, it'll be up to banks 112, is it? Yeah, 111 down. So from 0 to 111, but usually 0 to 7 is normally the 1 to 8k machine. So you have like a 64k of RAM drive usually, which is banks 1, 3, 4 and 6 if I remember correctly, and bank 8 is used by the operating system. Bank 9, 10 and 11 are the layer 2 screen. So you usually use 12 and 13 if you're using the 320 by 256 resolution layer 2. Then that goes up from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's why people usually start at bank 14 when setting the banks to load into in BASIC. So hopefully that was sort of clear enough. I can if you want, let me know, and what I will do for next week, not next week, the week after, is I will put in a memory map layout of the next with the different banks as a screen, or actually what I'll do is I'll do it and download it, put it on Facebook, upload it and put it on Facebook, post it on Facebook even, and then that might be easier if I just show the banks available. Right, so anyway, back to Gaz. You got it fixed, what was it? Right. Instead of let ty, there. Line 7010. Let %y equal int. Instead of y, instead of just int. So you missed out that let, did you? It was let ty equals instead of minus, as it should be, and that's why it didn't work. So I'm glad you got it working now. So we can move on. Right. What I might do is I'm going to quickly do I'm not going to quickly do select buttons. I'll quickly do a diamond. And then we should try a different one altogether. I know it's not the best of diamonds, but hey, I'm no artist, as you know from last week. Right, Shift S. Right, so that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we can do now is, in our data, we can do a 5. Put 5 there, and put 5 there, and put a 5 there, and a 5 there. Right, run that. We've got some diamonds. Right, and we can get rid of this line now. Actually, extend. Right. And what we do now is 6110 if cent r equals 5, then let sc equal sc plus 100. Right, and then at the game start, the game setup, we need to do 3070, let sc equal 0, and then in the game loop 4030 print at north, semicolon sc. I know we should really just draw it when it updates, but it doesn't matter, it's fast enough anyway. Right, so as you can see, what's happening now is, because we're getting 100 points every time we touch the thingy, what we need to do now is get rid of it out of the map. So after colon, we need to then do go sub 7100, and we should really do yeah, 7100, because TX and TY 7100 background, and then we want to get that, which gives us our position and bank, although we don't need to set B because that should already be set from the previous call. And then 7120 is bank B poke bracket percent y times 16 plus x. Actually, where do I put the math? You'll probably know this. Where do I put the percent? Do I need to put the percent there, or I'm not sure. I haven't really used the integer basic because I'm not a basic programmer, to be honest. I use machine code mode before the bank. I thought so. Right. So percent bank B poke x plus y comma 0. Nope, it's not that. Hopefully it's that. Hopefully the Y won't be... Can you do that? No. Oh, so yeah. So hopefully that will sort it. And then 7130 tile at 0,0. That should redraw the screen. And 7140 10. Was that an error? We have not found 7120. Would it be the percent poke? Would it be this? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Right, so this should now work. Should. Why did that not? Right, so let me just put the is getting a bit funky there. Right, percent B equal and tile blank, just to make sure. It shouldn't be anything different, but you never know. Why is that not drawing? Could that be because it is blank? Because it's blank. Hang on, look. SPR. Edit. Block, isn't it? Blocked SPR. And I reckon it's because these are blank. So if we change this to a different colour, like black, black. Oop, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Mouse is way too over sensitive. Let's turn it down a bit. There we go. Actually, I'm sure I did a clear sprite. Sprite. Control W. No. It doesn't do it with the colour. Oh well. Time to draw it all again. Just bear with me a sec. In fact, what I will do for now is I think this will work, so I was going to save it and try it, but I reckon this is going to work anyway, so let's just go with finishing this off to black. Won't take too long. save that, and quit, and run. Does it get rid of it? Yes, there you go. That's what it was. Basically, when you do the tile at, if it's colour 0, it does not draw that particular pixel. So what we need to do now is block.spr again, and on this we need to put our basically you don't want to use colour 0 for the background because that is transparent. And so when you do the tile at XY, what happens is it draws, well, it doesn't draw the pixels that are 0. So we change these background bits to black, then our pathway will be black, but it will clear up when we pick the jewels. Nearly there. Should add a fill to this, and really should. Plus it needs updating so we can do 16 colour sprites with it. So I will get around to that at some point when I'm not so insanely busy. For any professional artists that are watching, I'm sorry I'm painfully slow doing art, but I am a programmer and an artist. And there we go. Save that. Run this, and there we go. I have dark corridors now. Was it colour 255 that didn't show? Not colour 0. Colour 255 bright white. Or no, it was E3, wasn't it, which is the transparent colour in the sprite. Yeah, ignore. Sorry, that was in the sprite. It was the transparent colour that it wasn't showing through in the block, which is purple. But E3, you'll see it in the sprites. Yeah, fine. .spr edit. Block.spr. Right, this block here is the transparent colour. And that's why it was coming up as transparent. It's this colour E3. It's E, as you remember from Windows. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, B, C, D, E, yeah, E, 1, 2, 3. So E3 is a transparent colour, which is where it gets cleared to. All these are E3. So if I wanted, I suppose I could have changed it to a white, and we'd have had this, we'd have had it working. Anyway, that is that working now in So Mr. Earlier up in the code edits he made. Yep, I can show you them. Right, which bits? The bits for the picking up the keys, picking up the jewels, is 6110. If %r equals 5, then let sc equal sc plus 100. So let score equal score plus 100, and then go sub 7100. So just that, and let me know when you've done that one. So I can scroll the screen up. That was earlier in the code. So the bit earlier was 4030 print at 0,0 semicolon sc. And there was one more bit which is 3070 let sc equals 0, which is in the game setup. So we set in the game setup, we set the score to 0. In the game loop, we print at 0,0 semicolon score, and in the game loop, well, the handle player, if you pick up the diamond, add 100 to the score and then clear the background. And that's what that bit is doing. Yes, I can. 4030 print at 0,0 semicolon sc. Sorry. No worries. Yeah, when you, Matt, that's why the very first line is 10 save testgame.bas. So when you run it, it automatically saves it for you. Because usually you put the save at the end, but because I lost some earlier on doing stuff in BASIC, and I was using cspect, and I pressed escape instead of shift space to break into the program, and it quit cspect. So go on then, what's the 64 column mode? Wrong one. Column mode. So is that better? Is that still clear? Is that still clear enough for people to read? Why is that being 6 and not cursor? I know why. F10 again. Oh yeah, it's better because we can see our map clearer now. You're right. Yeah. Thanks for that, Matt. Both of you. Yeah, it helps. It does help a lot when it comes to seeing more on the line, on each line, and it also means that the whole of the screen map is on one line rather than taking up 2 lines in 32 character mode. Right, and as it is 4:15. What we'll do is we'll call that a day for this tutorial. Obviously we'll have a chat more at the end, but and then do you want to carry on next week having the baddies instead of waiting 2 weeks? Thank you. Thanks, Matt. No worries. So basically we now have our screen displaying. We've got a character going round, we've got collision with the background, we've got collision with items. The items get removed off the screen and the screen gets redrawn. We could change them to sprites, I suppose, but at least this way we can have that data in the level, and then get through to the end of the level and it starts again. Actually, what we need to do is line 1080 at game setup. Go to 1080. It goes to 1080. There's the game setup. 3005 goes up 1080, and that will repoke the values back to what they are in the data, because other yeah, I need to set the time, set layer there, so I'll get rid of that. Goes up 1080. It was because it was in layer 0 mode and it doesn't do tile art in that mode. So you should be able to collect all these, go to the exit, and it should be game over, and then when we start again, so did everyone follow that? Did everyone keep up? There we go, we've got the keys in. Right, what's whose name on Facebook? Oh, Matt. It's Matt Davies. He's on my friend group, John, if you... Yep. You're welcome, Graham. Deformed potatoes, Richard. For well, it's minor deformed diamonds, I think, or well, if you can call them diamonds. Did everyone follow the extra bits with the modification to go sub 1080 to reset up the map? Yeah. Thanks, guys. No worries. Glad it's all been useful. Thank you, Retro Robbins. Again, glad it's all been useful and helpful to people. And good fun indeed, yes. So we're getting there with this game. What we'll do you want to do it next week, yeah? Or the week after? Do you want to go back to 2 weeks, or just until we finish this game? Do you want to do it week by week while it's still in your brain and not... Cheers, James. Right, we'll do it next week then. So yeah, what we'll do next week is we'll add in a couple more levels, and then I'll put 4 levels in, so we've got 4 levels to play around, and you can put as many as you want in. I'm just putting 4 in so that you can see that how you add more levels. And then what we'll do is we will add a set of baddies that move from one point to another and back, like in set places for each level. And then what we can do is have them, if you hit them you die or whatever, and you start again. And then so you have to find your way through without getting caught by them. They'll have to starve, Rusty Pixels. They can feed themselves and the moths. Anyway, yeah, so next week next Sunday we shall get some rooms in and get some baddies going and collision with the baddies, and if possible, if we've got enough time, we'll add shooting them. Maybe we'll add some hit points as well. Yeah, maybe. I don't really. I haven't joined. Well, I've joined the Discord channels, but I don't really use it. I don't have the time. But I'll try and make the time to come on the my Discord channel then. If someone wants to flash, you might well make the Discord channel if you want for us, and then I'll post it in the group. Yeah, it is a handy place to keep things together. Post it in a link in the group, and we'll start using that as a discussion place for the tutorial videos. Thank you. Should take these off. Looking at the bigger screen, it's like blurry. It's better when I take my glasses off. Right, any questions? And thank you all for following along, the ones that did. It means more to me when you're following along, because we get to solve your problems as you go, rather than doing it in at a later date. It means we can all be at the same place and you're not being left behind. It's like, if you get stuck on a place and then we go on to the next video tutorial, and we go straight into doing something else rather than fixing what issue you had. It's best to fix as we go. Thank you, Matt. Even with my shit graphics, yeah. Not bad for 2 hours work, eh? Yeah. I've got a shop order coming through soon, arriving soon, so I need to finish up at some point. I think it's arriving around 5 o'clock, so, and then we'll be having tea after that. So That's why I do the 2 till 4, and then have like a little bit after to chat about the video. See if anyone has questions. Booth 552. It is save test game, but you can call it whatever you want. You can call it hello.bass. Line 10 is save test game.bass or save hello.bass, whatever you want to call it. Stuart guessed we could we could do diamond placement, random diamond placement. Yeah, we could. Do you want to look at that next week? And then that will save us doing placements of the diamonds for the for all the levels. We just need to make up a couple of levels. If we want, what we can do is it might be easier if we do SPR edit test levels.spr, and then what we can do is you know what, actually 1 is the wall, isn't it? So 1 is the wall. And then if you guys can, ready for next week or next Sunday, ready for next Sunday, if you guys do you only have to do 4 maps. Just something like that, and only leave this one blank, and that's where you start, and then this is where your exit is, so that's block 3, so got that colour there. Will there be any sound effects? I guess we could use the sound chip to play some sound effects, or do you mean as in using the drivers for the audio? Well, we'll just do like a play sound effect for now, just to keep it simple, because we don't know if everyone's got the Raspberry Pi, so we won't be able to have it playing samples in the background when you pick things up. And yeah, use Remy's driver for sound effects. Okay. I'll have a look into it for next week. Yeah, so basically if you can let's copy that, paste, make 4 levels at least minimum, and leave the bottom 4 pixels, because we only do 16 by 12. And so if you make 4 levels ready for next week, then we can add them in rather than using the pokes. Well, we can use the AY, still use the AY with the play sound effect. No, with the play instruction. Can do 1505 bank 10 loading it 1505 load. What did we call the file? Test levels. Load test SPR bank bank. And there we go. Is that the new one? Yeah, that's the new one, isn't it? That I just did in the tile editor. There you go. Yep. And what we'll do is we'll remove that all the data next week, and I'll go through changing it back again to the changing it from the data to the load levels, ready for next week. And then yeah, the thing with Avalon is you can compress the levels, but you've got plenty of memory to not have to worry about compressing the levels. Always look on the bright side of life. I've locked down and Spectrum X tutorials to have a play with. It's pretty alright. It certainly is the Swiss Army knife, but it needs a lot doing to it. It is only 8K, well, just less than 8K, because it was a doc command that I wrote absolutely about 3 years ago, when it was before Next Basic. So it was using div LMC and the 8K you can 8K limit. So obviously with the next features, but yeah, I'll update that at some point, because it needs more doing to it. It needs a fill, definitely needs a fill. So yeah, if you guys can get 4 levels done, that would be great. More would be even better, but we'll leave that up to you. Do a minimum of 4, because that way we've got a couple of things to do and put baddies on. In fact, what we might do is add the tiles to the banks, or the sprites to the game sprites to the tile banks. Then that way what we can do is we can put baddies in, again, I will go through how we do that next week. But for now, like I say, just do your full screens, well, full level layouts, and then we'll add the baddies to the level layouts next week. Has anyone got any questions? Yeah, it would be nice to have a fill, but yeah, 16 by 16 doesn't take too long to fill. Yeah, it is a way of having a visual reference to the level if you have it using the pixels. That's why it's a lot easier to make a level using the pixel editor, well, sprite editor. Assuming it's a 16 by 16. Yep, all good. Right. Have a good weekend. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, however much there is of it. And be safe. Wear a mask. And be good. And I shall see you all next week. Have a good one. No worries. Gamer Eyes. Glad we got you sorted. We're all working. My problem. No worries, Jinago. Or Jinago. I don't know, not sure how you pronounce it. My pleasure. Glad to do the tutorials. See you, Retro Robbins. Bye, Graham. Matt. I will enjoy my tea, don't worry. Start. See you, Matt. Davies as well. John. Always a pleasure. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Bye, James. James. Bugger off. Mike. See you next week, Stuart. See you, Matt. Ciao, guys. Throat warbler mangrove. Right, okay, I'll remember that for next time. Jean-Claude, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. And you, Rich. Catch you next week. Bye all. I'm going now.